Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Josh. Some people know me as Yoti. Doesn't matter, call me whatever you want. This video is going to be about the Ouray 50. 50-mile trail race in Ouray, Colorado with 23,000 feet of vertical gain. I believe we had a 24-hour cutoff. I wanted to document a little bit of the race, and while I was doing research to try to kind of get ready for this, there was only a few videos out there that explain the course, and none in a way that helps another person get ready. Most people do it describing their own individual journeys, and yeah, it will describe my journey to some degree following this, but it's more about the different sections and how you can prepare to be one of the finishers. There's a pretty good dropout rate, and I want more people to be prepared if I can help in any way. So here we go. This is the 2024 Ouray 50 recap.
So when the starting line, we'll get them all turned on. So, awesome, thanks again.
The format of the race is kind of unique because it's like they call it a broken windshield format, where you start in Town Park and there's lots of out and backs. Two of the sections are long enough to where there's another aid station at the end, and then you're going back. But three of the other sections are just out to the top of a peak or to a mine where there's going to be a sign, and you'll punch your bib and then turn around and head back. It's good for crews because there's not a whole lot of travel that needs to happen, and they can get a lot of rest in between. It's slightly difficult for a runner because the race starts at noon and you only get 2 sections really done in the daytime. If you're really fast, possibly 3, and the rest is at night. So
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, the Ouray 50 has begun. First climb is Camp Bird Road up to Weehawken, up to Alpine Mine. It's about 75 degrees in the sun. Nice cool 65 in the shade. No cloud cover. It's gonna be a beautiful day.
Alright, at the top of Alpine Mine, you can see Twin Peaks right over here. If you go up the ridge line all the way to the top, up there is Bridge of Heaven. Down on the edge of the shadow of that mountain, right in there, is the Chief Ouray mine. And then if you go over into this area and you go through this, that's Hayden. That takes you up and over there and then back down there. So you can pretty much see the whole course except for Silver Shield. Quite a view from up here.
after you get back down from Alpine Mine, there's just a small road section that gets you to the next trailhead, and you go downhill over to the right hand side of the road. You'll see signs that lead you up to Hayden. It's a dirt road for the first mile or so, but it's still pretty steep. And then you cut off the road and start the single track that leads up a gully. They definitely warn you from the beginning if you read on the website, and the locals know that there's a section going up that little gully that's pretty steep and has these pebbles that just really easy to slip on. So on the way up, it's a little bit easier to maintain your footing, but on the way down, when you have momentum, it's very easy to slip and fall backwards or slip off the trail because you're not slowing when you're supposed to slow. So that section is pretty interesting. It's good to know about that. I didn't really record a whole lot during that section because of the fact that I was focusing both times, on the way up and on the way down. It's something to note, though, that you have to have good traction, or new shoes, or something that gets you a good amount of grip, because that section alone is going to be worth the new shoes. Yeah. Hayden is definitely the longest section, and without any water access through there, you want to make sure you have enough to get all the way over to 550, where you can restock.
It's about 7 o'clock. Sun's gonna go down soon. We're at 19 miles. Done with the third climb now. I'm slowly making my way back down to Felon Park. There's some sketchy sections coming up, and I'm just hoping to get through them before dark, and then start the second part of the race, which would just be all in the dark. What a freaking view. Feeling pretty good so far.
To have some type of a pacer with you that can handle a section or two, because it's steep, and to have the extra light, to have the extra person kind of testing the trail with you if you haven't been out here before, keeping you awake. You can kind of get scared of all of the sounds of, I mean, we're out here in the middle of giant mountains, so if you're not familiar with the bears and the deer and the sounds in the woods, it's good to have someone with you. A lot of the locals I saw didn't have anybody, and you get used to it after a while, I would say. But this type of thing is it's steeper than most races, so you just have to be prepared to go slow and take a lot of time to try to eat, because you're going to be out there for 20 to 24 hours, and you're going to need to keep your nutrition going. After you finish Hayden and you go back down to Felon Park, it's basically the first full night section, and I think you're a little over 10,000 feet in vert by then, so you're pretty tired already. And the race directors answered a question in the pre-race briefing about Twin Peaks being the crux of the race, and he said it is true that if you can get past Twin Peaks, more than likely you're gonna finish. But it's a really steep section, and although it's not the highest that you go or the longest that you go, the steepness of it is intense, so prepare for that. It's a game changer if you're not ready. After you finish Twin Peaks, you don't go directly back down to town. You go about halfway, and then you cut off to the left, and you start the Silver Shield section. That is the flattest section out of all the sections, and it's the most runnable for a few miles. So it takes you down to the Silver Shield Aids Station and back up. I think it's a little less than 2,000 feet, something like that, and across the top of kind of a ridge, or the edge of the mesa, and there's some dinosaur tracks up there, and it's gotten some publicity lately. It's kind of getting well known, but you're going through there in the middle of the night, so there's not going to be any traffic. I haven't filmed any of that. I'll see if I can get any pictures from the internet to show you here, but it's the funnest section if you still have some energy to get a little bit of jogging in, because the next two sections are again pretty steep. Now, if they keep the same format that they did this year, most runners are going to hit the Chief Ouray section right around midnight or a little bit after. It's going to take you good 3 to 3.5 hours. You start from Town Park and you head up the perimeter trail until you get up towards the amphitheater area, and you kind of skirt along the side of the road for a second, and then it cuts off again and heads up, and you go all the way up to the mine. Right before you get to the mine, there's a section where you go over a little bit of a waterfall. They have a rope set up if you get scared of going over there, but it's not a whole lot of water that time of year in early fall. Unless you had a monsoon rain the day before, you're not looking at any issues walking across that. And then on your way back down, you just enjoy, it's just soft enough to where you could jog the downhill if you really felt like it, but you're almost 40 miles in, and you want to conserve a little bit of your legs for the last section, then don't jog it, because the last section you're gonna need it. And then, of course, they save the best for last, the Bridge of Heaven. It's a 10-mile section with 5,000-ish vert, and basically no water access. I know I said Hayden is the longest without water access, but that's if you go both ways. It's 14 miles, and you have an aid station in the middle of it. This is a 10-mile section. You're exhausted. It's gonna be 2-3 a.m. when you start. Sun will start to come up. You're on your last of your energy, and you got to make it back down by noon. 10 miles in a normal circumstance might take you 3 hours, 2.5 if you're really fast. But due to the fact that it's the last, it's going to take you around 5 hours, because it's a slow trudge uphill and a very gradual jog downhill. It's beautiful. It's worth it. The sunrise on that last section and the emotions you have, it's something that's going to make me want to come back for sure, because the accomplishment feeling of 23,000 vert is pretty amazing. So yeah.
You can see Ridgeway down in there. Montrose is up in there. Grand Mesa is way back in there, kind of covered by smoke.
Solid, dude.
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
Got her done.
Awesome.
That's man.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be a
man.
little wobbly now.
Oh, just a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, they say that the 2 cones at the finish line are to humble your ego so you don't get this big ribbon ceremony. But right after you get past the finish line, they give you this beautiful shiny new belt buckle, and you felt like you definitely earned it. So I have to say it boasts the eagle a little bit. But all in all, absolutely amazing journey. Big thanks to all of the support crew at the aid stations, the race directors, the medic that was there. I apologize, I don't remember you guys' names all, but it's a small crew of really devoted, great people. So thanks y'all. I hope to see you out there again on the trails, and possibly again for the 100. 2 years, 3 years. I gotta get this to settle first, but again, thank you everybody. Quite an amazing journey.